The fear of failure makes people work their hardest and drives them easily to success. But what if this fear takes on a higher form, a form called perfectionism? I used to view it as a virtue. I mean, even the word perfectionism has the word perfect in it, so it must be good, right? But this was before I realized that perfectionism has many side effects that most people are not even aware of. I personally relate very much to perfectionism, especially in school. It starts with me not even being able to start my work due to my fear of failure. I would want every word to be amazing. So imagine like a 1,000-word essay. Every word of that essay would have been thought out very carefully. I can't even begin to explain how long it would take me to choose the font, the color, and the size of my whole entire document. And now note-taking. That would be another story. I would want my handwriting to be exactly in between the lines. If it goes above or below, I would rip the whole paper out and throw it away. You may now think, wow, this is pretty extreme. I don't think I'm like that or my children are like that. However, I conducted a survey at our school to see who are perfectionists and to identify the 3 different types of perfectionists: the self-oriented, the socially prescribed, and the other-oriented. The socially prescribed perfectionists are those who want to please the standards of others. In other words, they don't feel as though they're good enough, so they always want to be better for other people. To identify these types of perfectionists, I asked the question, when you look at your appearance, what do you notice most? A, what I want to change about myself. B, I don't pay attention to my appearance. And C, what I like about myself. And I found out that the majority of people, so 54%, said that when they look at themselves, they see what they want to change. These 54% of the students are most likely to have mental health disorders such as bulimia, anorexia, anxiety, and depression. Another form of perfectionists are the self-oriented perfectionists. They have a deranged image of themselves. They have very low self-confidence, and they cannot accept themselves how normal people would. To identify these perfectionists, I asked 2 questions. The first one is, how does constructive criticism feel to you? A, it helps me improve. B, I feel attacked. And C, I don't care. And the other question I've asked is, you tried something new, but you found out that you're not very good at it. U, give up. I don't enjoy things I'm very bad at. B, I would keep at it. I may never be amazing, but I could still be good. And C, give up just because it seems like a lot of work. The majority of people said that they will feel like constructive criticism will help them improve. However, 18% still said that they would feel attacked. And 23% said that when they're trying something new and they feel like they're bad at it, they would give up directly. So those 2 types of people are most likely to be struggling with self-acceptance. The last type of perfectionists are the other-oriented. Not only do they want themselves to be perfect, but they expect everyone else to be perfect with them. And when someone else is not as perfect as them, then they will judge them. The last question I asked is, when you look at the work of others, what do you notice first? A, imperfections. B, overall good job that they've done. And C, I don't pay attention. I found out that 32% said that they see the imperfections first. The 32% are ones who are struggling with trust issues, and they feel as though they can't maintain a healthy relationship with everyone else. Now, this was a small survey that I've done at our school. There was a much larger survey done by 2 psychologists, Thomas Curran and Andrew Hill. They studied over 40,000 college students from 1989 until 2016, and they found out that perfectionism has risen over 33% in those years. Now, the 3 types of perfectionists I've mentioned, the socially prescribed, the self-oriented, and the other-oriented, all fall under an umbrella term called the maladaptive perfectionists. To summarize, the maladaptive perfectionists are ones who expect everyone else to be perfect, they cannot handle failure, and they set goals that they can never reach. In contrast, the adaptive perfectionists, they're a bit better. They're different in the core. They can handle failure, and they're okay when everyone else isn't as perfect as them. There was a study of 1,000 gifted Chinese students. They separated them into two groups, the maladaptive and adaptive, to see who will perform better. And they found out that the adaptive perfectionists were a lot more likely to succeed than the maladaptive. Now, it may seem as though the adaptive perfectionists are actually very good. However, in 2016, a meta-analysis of over 46 studies have shown that it doesn't matter if you're maladaptive or adaptive. Perfectionism in general would not help you improve. This is a direct correlation between the final performance and the scale of perfectionism. It shows that your performance will decline as you start being more and more perfect, as you try to be more and more perfect. And now, there was also a study to correlate household behavior as in parenting, as well as how children are perfectionists. There were two extreme cases. One where parents were very ambitious and pushy towards their children. They always wanted them to succeed. And the other side where parents never gave constructive criticism to their children. And both these parenting styles caused their children to be perfectionists. And why? So the ambitious parents, they pushed their children so hard that the children felt as though they can never be good enough for anyone, and they always tried to work hard for other people. And the parents who never gave criticism to their children, those children were never used to criticism. So when they finally got criticism later on, they didn't know how to handle with it. So they always avoided failure at all costs. So parents, you have the responsibility to maintain the balance between pressuring the child, but also giving them constructive criticism. I personally believe that there is a solution to perfectionism. Everyone is not born perfect. We always have flaws in us. It's up to us what we do with our flaws. Ron Berger, the author of An Ethic of Excellence, believes that continuous reflection and always thinking about what to do better will help perfectionists. Therefore, I believe that we should always help perfectionists learn that they're okay to make mistakes. So I stand for imperfections. Thank you.